everyone. Hey, congratulations on this new film, Get a Real Job.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's always delightful to watch these independent productions of comedy, especially on an ensemble that you folks get to create. But let's hear it first. We always ask that obligatory question. Where did this original idea came from?
Yeah, my partner worked this job for about 5 years, and I had the privilege of living in a townhouse with him and all his coworkers in the pandemic. And that's where this idea came from, was all their stories of working this job and reminiscing about it. And it was so naturally funny and captivating that I was like, oh, this would be an easy pilot to write. So yeah. And then Yogi and I met at a dog park, and I pitched it around to him and he really liked it, and then we workshopped it, and that's kind of how it came into like its current form.
So the characters in this all happen to be at you just revolved it all around this dog park that you guys met at.
A little bit. The original characters were very much based off of my partner's coworkers that I lived with. And as we started getting closer to like producing it and casting it, we started writing for the people we casted it for. So when I wrote Donald, I wrote him into or parts of him into it, and so on and so forth.
Well, Donald, why don't you chime in on boarding this project? Why you want to be part of this?
Great, yeah. I mean, it's a it's a fun, very relatable idea for every person who's in performance of just like, yeah, you do a job that you're not on board with. So I was like, yeah, this makes complete sense. I connect with this a lot, and I liked the people. I mean, I knew Sam from before. I knew some of the other actors as well. I got to meet Yogi on this project, and that was great. So yeah, I think it was just something I felt like very connected to, and it feels pretty current because also I don't think I know a single person who loves their job, even a job that I would consider a real job. They're just like, it's not real. We're just sending emails to somebody, and it does. I don't know what's happening. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So it feels pretty relatable to like anybody, not just performers. On like a deeper level, it's just like, oh yeah, this is just all of us. We're kind of floating around. So I thought that was great. So I think a lot of people should check it out. I think it will be great and timeless. Hopefully not timeless, but it does feel like it'll be timeless.
Yogi, tell us about working with Sam on this project and extending the comedy here.
Working with Sam has been a genuine dream and delight. When it comes to being pitched a production company business as a dog park, it's only happened once, and I'm one for one for it being successful and fun. The best thing about Sam is that she's not only creative and talented, but she's very, very funny, and she understands how to make something that capitalizes on the talents of the people around her. In working with Donald and Lola and Jose and Ramona and Andy and Berg, the entire cast and crew of this, it's been such a joy. I mean, one of the things about making a thing that's artistic is you can get kind of bogged down in the weeds of making it, whatever your specific vision is. But the amount of collaboration that has happened between Sam and myself and the entire cast and crew of this has been just so fun. And I really think it shows up in the final product because there's things in it that are literally scenes from the day. Like we were filming Sam and Christiana's scene on the bench, and behind us, Lola and Jose were just chatting in the background. And I went, "Hey Sam, after this, we got to do the scene about the dead vape because look at them. It's just gorgeous." And so, so much of it was just being in the moment and going, that looks great. Let's get this. And then in the edit, putting it all together was all Sam's great handiwork. But it has been just fantastic to work with this crew of people.
Now, for all of you, does comedy comes naturally for you? Because I find comedy as one of the hardest things to do.
For myself, I've been doing stand up since I was 18 years old. It was actually my birthday on Tuesday. I'm 35 now,
Happy
and
birthday.
thanks, Donald. And Would you get me, Donald? No, I'm kidding. Um, but I like that we're mustache twins in this. It's very nice. But you know, when it comes to comedy, like it's really fun to play in a sandbox of you're dealing with failure and rejection because comedy is tragedy plus time. And for us, the time has been doing jobs that all of us have been over mentally, but then continuing to do. And the aspect of rejection in the arts is something that you face virtually every second internally, and then externally, other people add on. So yeah, I think that what was fun about this was that like Sam and I wrote, I think about 50 to 100 different worst things that could happen on this job. There's some on the cutting room floor of somebody throwing a banana in someone's face, like just the dumbest, worst things that could happen. Because I've done jobs like this where you just have to talk to strangers and hope that they listen to you, and it is the worst.
Anybody else want to talk about comedy on how difficult it might be?
Yeah, I mean, my mom's friends growing up would always say that I'm very funny, and so I felt like doing comedy made sense when I decided to do it. But for the first couple of years when I was deciding to do it was terrifying because I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I don't even know if this is just like a fun thing for me or if it's like something that I actually want to do long term. And then the more I did it, I kind of fell in love with it more and more. And it, Yogi is right in that we have to deal with a certain amount of rejection, plenty of open mics I have bombed, plenty of improv shows I've not been happy with, but all through all of it, it's what's really nice is like the creative process of it all and meeting great people and making great things that I really enjoy with them makes me very happy and fulfilled. And so even though it is challenging at times, it is also extremely rewarding.
And Donald, what
Uh,
comedy comes natural for you, Donald?
I don't know if natural is the right term, but I've been doing it for about a while, and I think it's a weird dynamic because everybody else's worst fear in the world is being laughed at for doing something dumb, and that's what we aim to do. And our worst nightmare is they take us too seriously, and so that's we're on the other side of everything. So it is. I think it's always going to be difficult. It is very enjoyable though. We love it. We love this being center of attention. That's why we do this stuff and we do it without being paid sometimes. We'll go to open mics, we'll do, someone else's show, we'll do all these different things. So it is really awesome to do this stuff. So I think that's the big reminder every time you're like, why do I do this? Oh yeah, because I actually love every second of like the process of it. It's everything outside of it that does suck. It is the yeah, getting to the shows, finding other shows. Um, all those things are the hard parts. So
I think it's the hardest for Donald because he is not only beautiful, but he is such a talented actor that you could put him in a bat suit and he could be Batman in a second. Like he's so good at acting both dramatically and comedically that I'm not surprised that Donald has trouble because he is just effortlessly talented. Donald's incredible. I mean, he's at the premiere last night, he got some of the biggest laughs. It was just great. I mean, he just is such a talent. It's been a delight working with him.
thank you so much, Yogi. Hey, give me a gift.
And of course, this is just a taste of what's to come. So you filmed a pilot, and you have a lot more material for a whole TV series. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah. Yogi and I have written out, oh gosh, probably like 10 or 12 episodes. We have like a series deck. Our plan is to kind of try to pitch it to networks. We're trying to avoid calling this a pilot, even though it for all intents and purposes it is. And lean on it being more of a proof of concept for like an entire series. Um, but the episodes we have written out have you know, full on arcs and plug in different characters at different moments and highlight our friendship while also highlighting like the struggles and realities and comedies of other characters. And as the story like develops, and yeah, it's there's a lot of material there. I mean, a lot of it is also like just like true little tidbits from canvassing people that I know that have been like, "Hey, I got a cigarette put out of my arm, and that was weird." And that's just being like, "Yeah, we could. That's easy to film." I mean, it sucks, but um, yeah, it's our most more immediate plans is that we're probably going to release this as like a limited web series, and we'll film a couple of more scenes and episodes just to kind of fill it out, so that when we do release it, it's all there.
Well said. Well, let me wrap it up with hopefully a fun question for all of you, because you know the series is called Get a Real Job. What is your worst job you ever had? Hopefully not this one.
No.
I I've had a lot of jobs. I think the worst job I had though was I once got booked to do stand up at a midnight bingo hall. And midnight bingo is like they're trying to make bingo fun at midnight. And so you drink. And so it wasn't like we're going to do a comedy show and then have bingo. It was like, no, during bingo, walk around and do jokes. And so I had to, and I did it for like 2 hours because bingo's not short. It's not like it's a 15-minute thing. So I was walking around just doing chunks of my act. And like, like I'd be doing a bit about like, I was walking around, I saw a sign for a lost service dog. B9, B, like you like it interrupt your flow. And oh man, but then that was the only show I did where at the end of it they were like kind of pseudo like, hey, we don't want you back. And it was in a casino in Washington State. And so they were kind of, like I could tell they were firing me while it was going on. And so she was like, so, we tried this out tonight and what we're thinking. And so I realizing it immediately started going, yeah, you guys don't know what you're doing here. Like I started attacking them. I was like, yeah, this whole setup is broken and messed up. I would never come back to this. Like I knew they were firing me. So I was like, I'm going to reject you before you reject me. So I think that was probably one of the worst gigs I had.
That is horrible.
It's bad.
Um, I'll go next. I think I had two bad jobs that honestly one of them felt similar to the show because I had to basically stand on the street and hand out flyers to Broadway shows. Um, and I don't know, Gig, where you're at. If you're in New York, or you might agree, Times Square is the worst place to be in, at least New York State. And the job is just standing around in Times Square the whole time, handing out flyers to shows that I have not seen, to tourists from all over the world, and also just New Yorkers trying to get to their jobs. So that was rough. And it felt pretty weird because I was like, I don't know how many people are convinced to see a show based off of just a random dude on the street. I avoid those guys when I walk through Times Square. So that was hard. And then the other job, I had to give out free samples at Whole Foods. And you'd think that'd be nice and easy and everyone would be polite to you. They are not. They're really weird. And everyone says it's your fault if someone else grabs a bunch of food with their bare hands. Yeah. So, you know.
Last word.
Yeah, I probably my worst job was the job that I worked with Jacob, where we had this like animation director who was off his rocker the entire time. But one job that really stuck out to me was I was actually working as an art dealer in a gallery in college, and I was selling like pretty high-end surrealistic art. I remember I was like mid-deal selling like Tim Burton's artwork to a friend of mine's mom, and um, my boss's name was Alex and he was awesome. And then one day Alex didn't come in and there was like a new boss also named Alex who was terrible. And like she fired me within probably 3 days of her being there. She came to me and she's like, "Yeah, so I'm firing you because you don't answer the phone and you haven't made enough sales." And I was like, "That's evil because I am answering the phone and also I am making sales."
Wow. Well, that's our life experience is what we make of it. So that's why you guys could come up with get a real job and laugh to life experiences. Everyone, thank you very much for speaking to us about it, and it's very funny. And I hope you guys expand on this. This is great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having us.
Yeah.